Do you struggle to feel good enough? Let's talk. Hey guys, welcome back to another Mind Right Monday. I'm your host, Bonnie Kelly, and today we're tackling a big topic, and that is the I'm not good enough bug. Now, if this is something you struggle with, stay tuned. We're going to talk about 3 different tips on helping you overcome this monstrosity of a belief. But before we get into that, let's talk really quick about why we struggle with this so much. Believe it or not, the I'm not good enough bug is probably one of the most common beliefs that the majority of us really struggle with. And it's so much more common that the fact that a lot of people aren't even aware that they're struggling with it, but it's there. But this is something that so many of us can identify with. But where did we learn this? Where did it come from? Well, unfortunately, a lot of it came from conditioned programming. That in our childhood or adolescence, that we experienced something, felt something, perceived something, or interpreted a situation where we felt less than and not enough. And what happens is that the mind ends up wondering, is this true or not? And it obsesses over it. But it obsesses in a way that's not in your favor. In fact, it's called a negative brain bias. And so what ends up happening is that as we're looking to validate, is this true or not? Am I enough or am I not? Is that the brain is working against us and it starts to perceive other situations that validate itself. And so we have other moments where we fail in school, or we were rejected by a group of peers, or we just didn't make this team, or we fell short on this, or we disappointed our father. And all of a sudden, all of these experiences start to compound and compile and compound and compile until this belief that I'm not enough becomes part of our identity. And that is when we have an identity crisis. So today we're going to talk about 3 ways that we can kind of break through that crisis and we can actually reclaim our inner confidence and power of knowing that who you are is good enough. So let's start off with the very first one, which is, don't believe everything your mind tells you. I love this tip. Let me tell you why. Is because so often we take what is happening in the mind, the thoughts that we have, the feelings that we have as truth or absolute, when a lot of times they're false and they're distorted and they're really they're blindsided to the truth. Because what you might not be aware of is what you perceive in your reality today is actually distorted by the pre-existing belief system. What I mean by that is it's like wearing a pair of rose-tinted glasses. But unfortunately, they're tinted in a way that is saying that I'm not enough. And so it's like a dark and gloomy tint. It's not even a pretty tint. It's like kind of a really shitty tint, if you ask me. But that's how we're perceiving the world. We're walking around with these glasses because of that belief that got installed in our mind through our adolescence. And it's influencing how you perceive things. It's influencing how you are experience things in real time. Well, that is then going to send information where your mind is going to start having these thoughts and it's going to start having these feelings that are constantly validating this old dynamic that I'm not enough, and it becomes this reoccurring and consistent bombardment of negativity in our hearts and our mind. We need to stop believing the mind. The mind is lying to you. It's got a virus, okay? It's sick, and we have to be able to heal it. And then we can listen to our mind. But for right now, we just have to recognize that your mind is kind of lying to you. If it's telling you that you're less than, or that you're not enough, and that you're stupid or weak or unworthy or unlovable, that is a false belief that needs to be challenged. Because if you really strip away the insecurities, and you strip away the doubt and the fear, and all of these painful experiences that we've had, and we're really digging down to the essence, the core, in your heart of hearts, that you know on a very soul level, on an energetic level, on a inner guidance level, that you are worthy and that you're enough. That's the truth. It's society and our parents and experiences and our past and our exes that have all taught us or conditioned us to think and believe otherwise. So we need to really recognize that the brain has got a virus. And that virus is constantly infecting how we perceive and experience these new relationships and these new opportunities and these new experiences in a way that's continuing to perpetuate the old story and the hurt. And we need to see beyond that. So first tip, don't believe everything your mind tells you. All right, you ready for my next one? Let's dive right into the second one, which is celebrate your victories, big and small. All right, so many of us who struggle with feeling like we're not enough constantly are dismissing our victories, both big and small. So one of the most essential things that we can do for ourselves, one of the biggest gifts you can give yourself, is to start to actually appreciate and celebrate your victories. Now, victories come in all shapes and sizes. I mean, a lot of times we're always waiting for the big one. Graduating college, graduating high school, promotion at work, getting a raise, right? But these moments are far and few between. So we have to start to learn to celebrate the mini victories. The fact that you just put new tires on your car and it cost you $400, victory, right? I mean, it's a celebration. It seems ridiculous. And no, Bonnie, that's just something I'm supposed to do. Well, there's a lot of people who don't do that, and their tires are worn and they're driving on bald tires, or they're putting themselves at risk. You were being responsible, and that deserves a big pat on the back. So, I mean, that one seems silly, but I'm serious. Like, you really want to have a victory every time you change a thought, where maybe you had a self-deprecating thought that you decided to replace with something more constructive. Or maybe that you're being less reactive. Or maybe you have a dog and you've done a really good job of taking care of it. I mean, these are victories. These are little celebrations that you have been dismissing because they're supposed to just be, or that's just me being responsible. No, that's you being awesome. That's you proving that you're enough. And so we want to start gathering this evidence to validate that, you know what, I am a really good person. I do have a lot of successes. I am very responsible. I am good enough. That's the only way we're going to defeat this nasty bug. Now, let me end this section off with a cool quote by Marcus, and he said, "If you have no confidence in self, you are twice defeated in the race of life." I love this quote because what he's saying here is that if we don't have confidence, we're going to be defeated by outside obstacles as well as inside obstacles. And when we're running the race of life, we can't afford to have the inner world defeating us, because sometimes the outer world's going to do that to you. And so we really need to build that self-worth and that confidence to remove these insecurities and to take these false beliefs and false identities, put them through the shredder, and really stand in the truth that who you are is good enough. All right, so this leads me to my third and final tip today, which is practice intentional self-love. All right, the key word in this segment is intentional. Did you hear it? Intentionally practice self-love. And the other word was practice. A lot of times people just think that self-love is something that you should just feel. Well, no, it's a practice. Just like washing your hair or brushing your teeth, it's something that you regularly have to practice to have good hygiene. Well, if you're not practicing regular self-care, where you're saying nice things and you're appreciating yourself and you're celebrating your victories and you're spending time in gratitude and appreciation, well, then you're not having good mental hygiene. You have to be willing to take the time to practice being intentional. Carve out time in your schedule to love and appreciate yourself. This could be as quick as 5 minutes a day, where you're just journaling in the morning and you just journal all kinds of positive things. Maybe you spend 5 minutes doing mirror work, where you just engage in eye-to-eye contact in a mirror and just affirming that I love you and that you are enough and I believe in you. Or maybe it's just you spending 5 minutes singing a dance or a song that just supports, your inner self-love, or taking a bubble bath, or reading and journaling. It really just needs to be a small amount of time that's set aside every day just to love and appreciate you. Reflect on all the successes you had the day before, or all the things that you did right or well, or that you had success with, and appreciate yourself for that. These small gestures go a long, long way in building your self-worth and confidence, especially over time. So this is why it's called a practice. You're not going to feel self-love and you're not going to feel enough in just one day. It takes that ongoing effort of you willing to battle the I'm not good enough bug, to know and to assert and to affirm that I am enough to be victorious. So let me end this section off with a really cool quote by the Buddha, who says, "You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserves your love and affection." I love this. You deserve to be appreciated by you. In fact, there's no one else in this world that can do it better. So you might as well invest some time into learning to love you the best that you can. So hopefully this video has helped in some way. If you have a personal development question, be sure to email me. I'm easily to get a hold of, and you can email me at getinspired@bonniekelly.me. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and let me know if there's anything I can do to serve you every step of the way. Until next time, I'm Bonnie. Did you enjoy this video? I sure hope so. As always, they're brought to you from viewers like you. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because each week we're going to bring you a new personal development tip, tool, or idea to help you get your mind right in 10 minutes or less. Now, if you want to take it one step further than where you're at right now, then I have the perfect gift for you. It's the 21dayemotionaldetox.com/free, where you can get 7 days free of my 21-day emotional detox program. This is an amazing opportunity for you to get your mind right on a regular basis in 10 minutes or less. These are amazing tips and tools that you can practice and use every day to just declutter the emotional and mental space of the mind and realign with the truth of knowing who you are is enough. Until next time, I'm Bonnie Kelly.